There we go. All right. Hopefully the lighting's good. I didn't get a chance to get the proper lighting that I said I was going to have when I did this episode. But I'll get the lighting, don't worry. I know, you're very worried. All right. So you might be thinking, what am I looking at? I thought this was a Nintendo Power read-through. You would be correct. This is, of course, a Nintendo Power read-through, issue number 4. But this is kind of cool. The Nintendo Power issue 4, yeah, surfaces mainly around Zelda 2. And this little guy is like a Game & Watch, and it has the full version of Zelda 2. Not only Zelda 2, if you go into the game selection, you have Zelda 1, Zelda 2, and what's that? Zelda for the Game Boy. Look at that. And on the back, I mean, it's literally just like the game. Look at the back. It has this little Triforce that lights up. I just now noticed that. It lights up when it's on. That's freaking cool as hell. This is it, man. This is freaking Zelda 2. Register your name. R E T R O. Oh shit. That doesn't say oh. My eyes are shot, man. Whoa. Fuck it. It's fine. It says this does instead of O, it says Reg Q. Because I can't see. But look. You see how this is relevant, right? And there you go. Anyways, enough about that. So you can get this at Walmart still. These are like $40. Making you get them cheaper now. They're Game & Watch. Mario has one, and then Zelda has one. So this is the Zelda one, obviously. So before we get into the issue, let's look at the game that the issue is focusing on. Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. Now, I love that everyone thought that Link was Zelda, like, forever. And I think there's people out there still that think Link is Zelda. But that's not Zelda. That's Link. I got a Zelda that's up there. I ain't pulled her down, but that's Link. That's not Zelda. Anyways, so when The Adventure of Link came out, coming off of The Legend of Zelda, if you didn't complete the whole quest of The Legend of Zelda, you may have been confused that you thought Link was Zelda, Zelda was Link, or whatever the fuck. This isn't as good condition as the Zelda that I have, the original Zelda, but it's still here. And it's the gold cartridge. That's pretty important and significant. They did make later editions that were like silver, you know, like the gray, the regular Nintendo. But this is the gold, the more sought after. And got the instructions. A little jacked up. That's okay. They're present. I'm a little jacked up, and I'm present. Y'all are with me. It's all good. I love the freaking artwork. Just take a second to appreciate that. Look at that. I remember that picture very significantly. Yeah, so. What tripped me out with Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, when you died, Ganon like laughed at you. He was like, ha 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 ha. And it was like, said like the return of Ganon. That scared me. This is Link. This is a very cool Link. It's a the SH Figure Arts version. Comes with multiple faces. It's very fragile, but look at the detail, man. If that ain't Link, man. That is really freaking an awesome Link. So let's open up the Nintendo. All right, really, Link? You gonna do me like that? We're gonna make believe. You know what? Just lay down, Link. Listen to the click. Satisfying. Alright. So I could put this on and we could pretend we actually just started that game. And I'm gonna kill myself and you'll see the Ganon thing that I was talking about. Let me turn it up. Okay. After this, we'll get into the issue. Listen, watch. Oh, fuck. You gotta go through all the guys? How many guys do you get? Alright. I am determined to hear that, damn it. How many more guys? I would just let this shit run. Anyway. So here we have issue 4 of the Nintendo Power. This is a special one. See what I mean? Look, this is the great figure that I was just bragging on. Oh, we got... Oh, is this the death scene? Yes, there it is. Good. At least something worked out. Let me shut that off now. Yeah, look at it. Like, it fell, and now the face is off. The hair I gotta put back. It's a whole situation. Just leave it there. We'll just put that out there like that. Throw that back out. Like I was saying, I don't know what I was saying, but anyways. Zelda and Zelda 2 and Zelda A Link to the Past are probably the most repeated game I have ever purchased in my entire life. What I mean by that is there's the virtual Zelda, the Wii U library, then there's the Nintendo Switch library, then there's the GameCube collection of the Zeldas, then there's the little guys like this, and then you have the Game Boy Advance versions of the Nintendo Zeldas, and I think there's another one. But I mean, shit, isn't that enough? That's a lot of times that you're buying the same damn game in just a different format. But let's get into it. So Zelda 2, The Adventure Link, blockbuster review. All right, well, this better be some dope information. Nintendo Power Bowl, 3-game kickoff, Skater Die feature, plus, what is this? A Mondo poster, and Captain Nintendo Part 2. All right. I think that I should have probably changed my contacts out, so I'm going to do the best I can reading. So there's a Link, and then there's Zelda. So when you start the game, she's sleeping, and you immediately leave a sleeping woman lying there that's in distress. He just runs away. It seems like that's a little backwards, but we'll go ahead and open this and get started. All right, so what we see first, which is different than the previous issues, we don't see that little like fake group of people all excited about something and the little, dial this number. But they didn't give up yet on the welcome. They're still saying welcome. They still care enough to say welcome, but now they're more pushing products, okay? They're pushing the products. We touched upon these last issue. They're pushing them in this issue. So let's get into the next page. All right. So it looks like what we got going on here is WrestleMania, Captain Nintendo, Sesame Street 1, 2, 3, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, Skate or Die. More Howard and Nestor, Counselor's Corner, Classified Information, Marbel Madness. I like that game. Operation Wolf, Nintendo Power Bowl, John Elway's Quarterback NFL Football Tecmo Bowl, Tecmo Bowl definitely is the winner out of all those. Metal Gear, and yeah, some other stuff. Ninja Gaiden. Oh wow. Hoops, One on One, MJ's Fast Break, Pro Basketball, Guardian Legend, Knight Rider, Airwolf, TMT, and more. Looks like we're about to go balls deep in this one, fam. Alright, so this came out 1989, January, February. Holy crap. That long ago? Alright, so we start with WrestleMania. Enter the NES ring if you dare. This is a fun one. I used to play this. I think I may have had it. If I didn't personally own it, a very close friend did. And I wouldn't mind playing this again. I'm all about it. It's fun. It's a good time. Yeah, man, look at that. Look at the graphics. That's the picture. Look at the damn graphics. I can't extend my finger. It's so long. You know, it's not my penis. I can't get it all the way out there. So, here's some, your basic Nintendo Power things you would expect. Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan. Y'all can read the rest. I mean, you know who you're looking at. Randy Savage. A shout out to Katie Face Killer. She is part of the Gem fam. I know she is a fan. Big time fan of Russell. Holy crap. This is a continuation of that. Who? I don't even know how to formulate a sentence right now. Who the hell would read all of this? You're a kid and you get in this Nintendo Power. You want to look at all the latest, greatest things. I don't know. If you read all this, more power to you. If you'd like to read this now, I'm going to kind of get a little closer. You can pause it and you can do the little zoom features that you like to do. Do. I just said do. I think it's close to after midnight. And I'm doing a live on my own. I don't care. You guys will see the replay. Writers Showcase Contest. Oh, wow. There's a writers contest? All right. Another way to crush a poor child's dream when they write into Nintendo and Nintendo says, you suck. Let's see. Scholarship bonds. You got $500 one, $250 one, and $100 one. Contest rules. You know what? Fuck it. Let's read this really fast. Contest rules. Eligibility. Contestants must be able and agree to accept these rules and participate in all the phases of the contest. Employees and their families of Nintendo America Inc. Nintendo Company license blah 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 are not eligible. Contestants must be U.S. residents. How to enter. Contestants must complete typed entries and submit with an entry form consisting of a 3x5 card stating their name, address, phone number, date of birth, and a whole bunch of other shit that doesn't seem relevant. Yeah. Nah, it's that I'm good, fam. You can go ahead and pause and read that. That's just a straight up bullshit right there. It's just another way of them sticking it to us when we were kids, thinking we had a shot at winning something. All right, here we go. Sesame Street 1, 2, 3. I still love Sesame Street to this day. I loved watching Sesame Street with my daughter when she was younger, and I'll still watch Sesame Street, the old ones. There was one in particular one I liked. It was called 1, 2, 3. Count with Me, and that was just such a fun one to watch. I watched that so many times with my daughter. It's like 1 and 2 and 3, counting things that we see. It's just fun. I don't know. I don't think the song is exactly like that, but my memory's going to shit. All right, here we go. Adventure of Link. Zelda 2, the hero of Hyrule, begins in his new adventure. But the trail will be long and perilous. And here you see some of the artwork that was in the instructions, and super fun. I mean, this right here, that picture alone gets you pumped up. it's like, yes, we're going to do this. We are going to go fuck some shit up. And we're going to get the Triforce, and we're going to shove the Master Sword so far up Ganon's ass. He's going to be shit. He's going to be spitting blades and shitting, I don't know, whatever the hell. But after the fall of Ganon, so I guess this takes place after Zelda, so I'll read the story really fast. So after the fall of Ganon, years have passed since Ganon's defeat, and Lincoln has grown since this epic struggle. But much evil remains still in Hyrule. Princess Zelda knew the secret of the Triforce, but refused to tell it to the great sorcerer. He then cast a sleeping spell on her. Oh, okay, so that's why she was asleep. I never, really read into that. Okay, so foretold in legends, a man royal bearing would come to save Zelda in Hyrule, and his hand would show a mark. That would be the mark of the Triforce. That'd be a really cool, dope tattoo to get, man. Like like the mark of the Triforce, where Link has it. That actually would be really cool. So notably, this landscape has changed. It's no longer an overhead 2D. It's more of a overhead, but more like it's almost like Final Fantasy, where the monsters come out of nowhere, and then it goes into a side-scrolling battle scene that you've seen on this little guy right here. I wasn't a fan back then, and I'm still not a fan to this day. I just can't get down with the 2D side-scrolling Zelda. I just can't do it. And there's just really nothing else I can say to that. I can't get into it. But I did play through it. I did enjoy it. I don't prefer it. Okay, that's probably the more fair way to say it. And these are all the little different power-ups that you can get. I always like the different color clothes that you can get. They really came to light in the Link to the Past and Zelda 64, Ocarina of Time. But anyways, in Zelda 2, that's kind of the first intro that really kind of, there was buying things in Zelda, of course, but, it was different in Zelda 2. So here's a little map of Hyrule. And a little awkward drawing of Link. So the action scene, I guess it has to break it down for you, because if you don't understand that, if you go this way, it's right. If you go this way, it's left. And if you're just chilling in the middle, it's the center. It seems kind of self-explanatory, but, they had to break it down. This is pretty cool. So, tells you some of the, some really bizarre names for the enemies. I ain't even gonna try to mention some of this, pronounce some of this shit. But there it is. And then here's some of the bosses. Very cool. I mean, so far this is like hit me in the feels. It really is. Anything Zelda related, especially the retro, it hits me right in the feels. And here's a little bit of map going on. Now, they had towns that you could go into and you talk to people. I want to remember that there was a like a prostitute in one of the towns where you would go in. She would be outside the door, right? And you'd go up to her and you'd click on her, and she said, "Come in and rest with me," or whatever. And you would go in, and son of a bitch, if your life wasn't rejuvenated, so your health went back up. So who knows what happened in that room, but you went in with some low hearts and came out ready to start. So I guess that was my first exposure to prostitution in Zelda 2. What is going on? I just had a freaking epiphany, or whatever, a moment. Zelda 2. Are you kidding me? I learned about prostitution from Zelda 2? Apparently I did, because you did. You were low on health. You went into town. You found the girl standing outside this hotel, or building, whatever the hell it was, and she said, "Come in and rest for a while." Ooh, all right. So these are just different items you get. I love when you get things. One of the things that in Zelda 2, when you would get something, it would go ding 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 ding. It kind of gave you that satisfaction that you've achieved something. Similar to like Metroid when you got something. We'll get to Metroid and when Metroid has her turn. But it was very rewarding when you picked something up in Zelda 2. It was just like oh, you picked it up and it was just like the best thing ever. Like you found a piece of dog poop 3 weeks old. You're like ding 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 ding. So here's like the first. Here's a map of the first dungeon. So you have to find the dungeons and see the elevator. I still remember the noise the elevator goes down. It was like, and it sounds like a kind of like a steady fart. But whatever. That's just how it sounded. So you know, like in previous Zeldas, you'd have to find keys and you'd have to go through doors and then you'd find the main enemy. But what was different with this, I don't know. Did you get a Triforce? No, you got crystals. Each palace holds a statue that resembles a face of a mystic origin. Together they create a binding force that locks the grand palace. The crystals destroy the statue, palaces, and the force. Only after Horsehead is defeated can Link place the crystal in the statue. So you didn't get a Triforce piece when you beat the enemies? I mean, it's been a minute since I played, so, but according to what we're reading and looking at, now you get crystals that you put in, and I guess ultimately you get the Triforce. I'm gonna have to play through this again, just to kind of understand it better. Here's another detail. This is a pretty good issue, really good issue actually. Um, it's, I mean, look at the map. That's pretty freaking amazing. I want to take a quick moment to shout out Jersey City Jeff. He's my homie. He actually came to visit me earlier this week or last week. Yeah, earlier last week. Days are just flying by. But um, his grandfather used to draw out the maps of the original Zelda. That's how into it he was. So now when I look at these drawings, I now think of Jersey City Jeff's grandfather because he would draw maps, not necessarily of the Zelda 2, but the Zelda 1. He told me the story. Uh, and it's just fun. I mean, that really gets you, you really dive deep into the game. But for Nintendo Power, because the power is in your hands, the map's already there. This is pretty extensive. This shows you a lot of the different levels. Pretty cool. And it shows how to what is that noise? It's freaking Link's face rotating. Let me put it over here. It's ridiculous. All right. So this is another level. The Iron Knuckle, the Guardian. And then you would get ding 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 ding. You'd get the item. That's how it went. John, that's how it went. And if John, if you're watching any of these episodes, I just want to tell you that's ding 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 ding. Another one. Ding 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 ding. Oh, look at that drawing. That looks pretty cool. It's an angry wolf. So, wow. I mean, they're really this Nintendo Power is very valuable in information to this game. I mean, because you would be, you know, this is all different elevators that you take to get to the zone. So you would be really kind of lost without it. So this is a really, really good direction that Nintendo Power is going. If you recall the previous first 3 issues, they weren't this comprehensive. This is pretty comprehensive. The adventure goes on. Link has come far, countless dangers. But though weary and bruised, he knows he cannot rest. 2 more palaces must be conquered. And there are most secret chambers set crystals, still found to be many blah 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 blah. Nothing about the Triforce. Did they really not have the Triforce in Zelda 2? It's a little weird, but okay. All right, so it is poster time. Poster time, poster time. Holy balls, this is a long poster. So this appears to be a skating or die poster. Skate or die. That was actually pretty good. That impersonation that I just did. All right, so it looks like we got also on the flip side a very cool overview of Hyrule and the Adventures of Link. It's pretty big. That's what she said. I can't be doing these streams late because I get too silly. But yeah, that's a pretty dope poster. All right, so we go to skate or die now. Now, like I said in the last video, it was not like Skate or Die in the arcade. It was its own version. And, you know, in its own right, I liked it. It wasn't like 720. 720 is what was in the arcade. And son of a bitch, if I don't have 720 on Game Boy Color right up here, you know I got to get it. Got to get my ass up and get it because this is how I roll. I can't not show you. I just don't want to drop anything, so let me try to not cause an avalanche. If that could just chill slowly, and it did. Sweet. All right. So this is 720. This is actually still factory sealed. It's for Game Boy Color. And I don't know if you can see that, but that is like the arcade. That's the Skate or Die that I expected the NES to be. That was not the case. It was different. It was a little bit of a letdown, but it grew on me because, you know, what else are you going to do? It was, you kind of expected a downgrade from the arcade, but, you know, it didn't happen in Castlevania and Super Mario. So, you know, our hopes were up that, hey, this might be just like the arcade, but nope, kicked right in the balls, and they kind of just programmed it to whatever. Was it horrible? Like I said, no, but it wasn't what the arcade was. It wasn't what I was expecting. Would I play it again? Hell yeah, I would. Hell yeah. So, that's pretty cool. It has a comprehensive, see how that, it's like a, that's how you go down on some of those courses. Pretty cool. I wonder if like Bam Margera played Skate or Die like for Nintendo. I'd love to ask him one day. He used to live close to where I'm at now, but I believe he's in Florida now, and then he's also touring in all these different venues. So if I ever meet him in person, I'm be like, yo, Bam, you ever play Skate or Die for Nintendo 8-bit? And what did you think? And I'm genuinely curious in his answer. I want, you know, if he says, "Oh man, that was shit," or if he's like, "Oh, it was all right," but I'm gonna say he probably, I don't know. I'm not gonna answer for him. I'll ask him when I see him. So here we have Howard and Nestor. I'm just really not into the series of this comic. I guess I don't know because Howard just comes off as such a dick, and Nestor comes off as such a tool. So I never really got into it, but go ahead, do your thing, pause it, put it in the spank bank for later, because I ain't reading it. All right, Counselor's Corner. Now we talking. This is always an interesting part of Nintendo Power magazines, where they counsel you. So someone, you know, writes a question and then they give you an answer. So why don't we go with this one, because it's the shortest for me to read. Then I'll let you all read it yourselves. Somebody says, how do I get to the other side of the water in World 4-3? Okay, that's the question. How do they get to the other side? Here's Nintendo's answer. I'm assuming it's Nestor's answer. All right. Just before you reach the water, you'll confront Birdo and his deadly flying eggs. While Birdo is normally a bad guy, he can indirectly help you out here. Instead of defeating this feathered fiend, go to his right side, and when he throws out an egg, jump on it. And don't throw it back, and just ride the egg all the way to the other side. Some good life advice right there. Shit gets real, just jump on an egg and ride it out, you know? Just do that. Seems to be there's a lot of Mario 2 questions that that hit issue 4. Now we got another page of this. Ooh, Wizards and Warriors question. I'm gonna read that. Let's go to that really fast. All right, so where do I find the red key in the lava stage? Okay, that's the question. Here's the answer. The red key is very close to the top of the lava stage. Go to the area just below the red chest and you'll see a very steep incline to the left. You won't be able to climb up here right away. Instead, wait on the ledge to the right to defeat the enemies until you find a blue potion. Then you get a good running start, jump to the left, and sprint up the cliff. The blue potion will give you the speed and strength to go up and over. You'll find the red key very easily to get after this. You know what? Salute to all the Generation X out there that came up when this was like relevant, and that is all that what I just read, you know. I know okay, so I realized in this, live stream that I'm doing with everyone right now, reading through issue 4, that I've learned about prostitution from Zelda 2, and now I'm reading about Wizards and Warriors just to get that red key. Now I'm identifying probably where my first anxiety and stress levels really kicked in. Oh shit! We got down here. We got the people. We got the whatever, the agent people. Yeah, and they got the full names and shit, and they tell the hobbies and stuff. I'm sorry, I just tripped out. There's other questions, but I like these ones. Let's get into these people. All right. So here we got Jim Mueller. Okay, Jim Mueller. All right, so he joined Nintendo January 20th, 1988. His hobbies are computers, investments, analysts, and playing Nintendo. I sure as hope to shit that every one of these clowns, their hobby is playing Nintendo or video games. If their hobbies include jerking off in a corner and dreaming of a better life than they have right now, probably can't relate to them. So his highest score was Rad Racer, 102,670. You go, Jim. Let's see. Favorite NES game, Metal Gear, and Star Voyager. Going to Cliff Hammond next. Yes, Cliff Hammond. That is a serial killer picture if I've ever seen it. That is Dexter before there was a Dexter. Jeez, oh man. Anyways, he joined Nintendo on February 1st, 1988. His hobbies include sports, arcades, and playing my NES. What do you know? Who would have thought? All right, so his highest game score is in Solomon's Key, and it's 7 million. His favorite game is The Adventure of Link, Zelda 2. You think he plans to say that just because this is actually a showcase of Zelda 2? Who knows? We may never know. But let's go on to, what is this? Dave Clooney, or whatever the hell. He joined Nintendo October 6th, 1987. His hobbies include water and snow skiing, windsurfing, scuba diving. Oh, this motherfucker don't have no... He didn't say he likes playing video games. He likes to do, like, outdoor stuff. That's the opposite of a gamer. We like to chill inside and just be left alone and game. But he's out there scuba diving, snow skiing, and windsurfing. All right, Dave, very active. Game accomplishments. First person at Nintendo to finish Gulagu 13. And that has to be Galaga. I never heard of a Gulagu. His favorite NES game is Gulagu. Okay, whatever. Let's move on to Brian Tanny right here. See what's up about him. He joined Nintendo on February 1st, 1988. His hobbies include gaming. His hobbies include games, gaming, all types, video, board game, role playing, computer, writing, reading. His game accomplishments: he beat Metal Gear in one day, and his favorite NES game is Legend of Zelda. So there they are in all their glory. I love that their first and last name are there. It's probably safe to say that at least one of these individuals are dead now. I'm not wishing ill will on anyone, but that was their mark on the world, having their hobbies listed. But I'm pretty sure that this might be in the most wanted somewhere. Unsolved mysteries. I'm just fucking with you. I don't know, dude. Could be a great guy. All right, so classified information. This is where they give you, of course, information on how to get past some difficult things that you may encounter while playing Nintendo or playing with yourself. I'm not going to go through it all because it's a lot to read, and I don't think you guys want to hear me that much. So go ahead, pause, and you can go around, and see what's up. Here's another page of that. All right. What's this? Calling all agents. Have you ever come across anything really special in your game playing exploits? We'd like to hear about it. Send your tricks to Nintendo Power, classified information. P.O. Box 97033, Redmond, Washington 980739733. There's a picture of Nestor. I would send Nestor a picture of my feces. That's how I feel about the Nestor. Marbel Madness. Now, if you've never played Marbel Madness, you really should check it out. I know that it was made on Nintendo. I want to say Sega as well. Genesis had a version. And basically, you can play two players. So you would start at a spot. It was in the arcade also. And you would just kind of like direct a marble down a series of different, like, really narrow paths and whatnot. And when you played two players, this is not going to sound appropriate, but this is just how I have to say it. So when I used to play with my friend Joe, he had Marbel Madness, and we played two players, and his ball would start out on one side, my ball would start out, and our balls would be bouncing off of each other. Oh man. Yes, I just said that, but not in the context that you would think. Our balls were not bouncing off each other, but their balls in the game were bouncing off each other. I should just stop the stream right now. I don't know what the fuck. If you're still with me, God bless you. Thank you. I appreciate your time. You could be using your time to do anything in the world, and you're using your time to watch this with me and go through it, and it's appreciated. And I mean that with a lot of sincerity and genuineness, and I hope you can feel that in my voice when I say it. So moving on, Marbel Madness. You can either play with your own ball, or you can play with your ball and your friend's ball. It's a great game, but the whole premise is that you're starting up and on these ramps, and you're going down a series of different trails, And the first one to get their balls, the first person to get the balls to the finish line wins. I can't say that seriously. I can't. I'm trying. So yeah, it's a race of balls, and if your ball drops too hard, your ball could be busted. So you don't want to bust your ball while you're trying to race it down a long pathway. All right, this is not a. I'm not doing a Hustler magazine review. Let me just reel this in. All right. Rest in peace, Larry Flint. If you know, you know. Moving on. So this is more shots of the different levels that you would have your balls go down. Oh my god. The funny thing is, though, I'm explaining it the way it is. It just sounds so bad. So, yeah, anyways, the whole point is to get your balls down, drop your balls down to the finish, and don't bust your balls on the way. And that's Marbel Madness. My God, how many pages is this? I can't. My maturity level cannot handle any more pages of talking about balls. Whew, my God. Operation Wolf. This was a pretty cool game. Had various different things going on in it. But it was one of the very first kind of GI Joe ish games where you're, of course there was Commando, but this was kind of, a little bit above that. I enjoyed it. There's a lot to read here. This reminded me kind of Operation Wolf, which I have for the TurboGrafx 16. We'll get into that. We'll review the TurboGrafx, but that's not Nintendo Power. But Operation Wolf kind of reminded me a little bit about that. Operation Wolf reminded me of the fuck game was it? They just said the TurboGrafx 16. I'm like delirious. That's how tired I am right now. But anyways, let's go to the next page. Okay, so that was really minimum coverage of Operation Wolf, but I do recommend it if you like retro war games that are kind of GI Joe ish. So going to Nintendo Powerball. So we're looking at Tecmo Bowl, NFL football, and John Elway's quarterback. It's funny that these are the heavy hitters for football because everyone knows the Titan to this day is John Madden football. But this was before John Madden football. And, John Elway's quarterback didn't really last. Tecmo Bowl was definitely the best, I thought, of the 8-bit football era. So here's a little bit of what are they actually saying here? They're talking about Tecmo Bowl, John Elway's quarterback, and NFL football. But what are they saying? And who is saying it? And why do we care that they're saying it? To get an insider's point of view, these new game grids went to the NFL veteran Doug Reed. Currently with the Los Angeles Rams as a starting defense end, Doug took time to give Nintendo Power readers his assessment. Wow, so we actually had an NFL player at the time have his assessment of playing the video games. And I think that's really cool. I honestly do. So his assessments are very short. I'm going to go ahead and read them because you guys are here for a page by page, and I'm giving it to you. So Tecmo Bowl. This is what he thought about Tecmo Bowl. This is my favorite of the 3 games. That's what's up. That's what's up, Doug. Doug knows what's up. I just read his first line assessment of all 3 of the games, and he says, Tecmo Bowl, this is my favorite of the 3 games. I like that I can choose my favorite NFL team, program sweeps, and pass plays. and intercept passes on defense. This game is very true to life and precise. I like the fact that the players' names are displayed and they have high fives after touchdowns. This game is fairly easy to figure out, and any Nintendo fan should be able to pick it up very easily. And then he's talking about Tecmo Bowl. All right, see what he says about John Elway's quarterback. It doesn't say a lot. It's very short. The game has good graphics. You can see everybody on the field. I really enjoy the fact that there are time limit on how long you can take to play, make the call for your play. I also like the way you use arrow to decide on a receiver after the play starts. I've never played that version, so we'll have to take Doug's word for it. In NFL football, he says, it looks like he's kind of getting tired of talking about it, honestly. He says, this is a good game, but my least favorite of the three. The beginning graphics are excellent, but the play graphics are slower than the other two games. This game is much more complicated and hard to understand right away. So Doug takes a real slam at NFL football. He takes a real prop to Tecmo Bowl, and he's kind of in the middle of John Elway. Thank you, Doug. That was actually really cool that an NFL professional football player took the time. Could you see, what's the dude's name? I don't even think he plays anymore. He was on the New England Patriots. Tom Brady, I think his name. Could you see Tom Brady taking the time to play a very, this is, in the beginning of video games, so this wasn't like the Maddens now where it looks like you're watching an actual football game. So what I mean by that is this is 8-bit, and the control, the controller is this, and it's not as, wow, it's very, very rough. I can't see anyone, like, in today's world taking the time to review a game, because the gaming is already very established. I'm going to shut up now and stop rambling about it, but big props to Doug Reed. Thank you, Doug Reed, for taking the time to give your opinion. And this is just some pictures. I'm not going to go through, we just talked about the games, so. But I will say this is what he was dogging, and that does look very shitty. So it does deserve the feces that Doug threw at it. Look at that Tecmo Bowl. Say hut. Much better, yeah. John Elway's quarterback. Yeah, looks like his quarter shit. Then we got this does look horrible. Doug was right on the money. NFL football, and it's ironic because it's NFL football, and you would think that it wouldn't be shit. Halftime shows. Yeah, this was the halftime show of Tecmo Bowl. Maybe I'm understanding why I like Tecmo Bowl so much. Halftime for, doesn't show the halftime for any other. Just this NFL football halftime. Can try your patience. The music's great, but it lasts too long. Okay. Tecmo Bowl had cheerleaders doing splits and playing with the pom-poms. There's the Tecmo Bowl high five that Doug was talking about. It's like... Metal Gear. This is the first Metal Gear. You guys might be familiar with Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid 2. That was from the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 era. I think there's a collection that you can get on PlayStation 5 of the Metal Gear games. I think it includes the 8-bit. I could be wrong. But I do have that collection, so I should check it out and see if I'm wrong. But, again, we're going back to, this is the 8-bit era. Okay, so you're not going to get, it's not going to come out looking like you know, the Metal Gear that you're probably thinking of when I say Metal Gear. It's 8-bit, so but it's fun. What do you got here? This is the video shorts. I got Friday the 13th. You guys can pause and read that if you want. Star Soldier World Games. Pause, 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 and my balls if you would like to read that. Friday the 13th. I got that. I am not climbing up the damn thing to get it down, but you got Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Bump and Jump. The fuck is Bump and Jump? Sounds very perverted. Bump and Jump. I've never heard of Bump and Jump. Rampage, of course, and Othello. What the hell is Othello? Go ahead and pause these. Sorry if I feel like I'm going a little faster. I'm having a little bit of stomach pain right now, so I don't know if it's like I got to take a shit or it's just something else. I'm not trying to go fast. So Robo Warrior, Spy versus Spy. Yes. You know I grabbed that off the shelf last night or last time. Q-Bert. Q-Bert. Shout out to DJ Q-Bert. Not related to Q-Bert, but shout out to him. Very talented. I got Q. Son of a bitch. Do I really got to get up and get Q? Yes. I'm going to get up and get Q-Bert. Oh. Mind my reach. I just don't want to cause an avalanche. So I am a Q-Bert fan. I had Q-Bert when I had, that was a good push off. I had Q-Bert for for Atari. But now I have a Q-Bert for Nintendo. And I have Q-Bert also for Game Boy. So when I tell you I'm a Q-Bert fan, you now believe me. Good times. If you're not familiar with Q-Bert, I recommend you get familiar with Q-Bert. If you don't know who DJ Q-Bert is, I recommend you find out that as well. Very talented individual, very friendly, cool dude. All right, moving on. So go ahead, do your pausing for the Spank Bank. If you'd like to read. All right, so this is Pack Watch. You know, this is where they tell you about, looking at games in the future. So you have Ninja Gaiden, not Gaiden. The when in the Wizard, did they say Gaiden or Gaiden? I think it's Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden. But whatever. Double Dribble. What's down here? Gossip. Is it Gossip? Bayou Billy. Oh, I remember that. My brother's name's Billy, and he actually got me that game. RoboCop. Data East is spending a little more time on this one to add more depth to the gameplay. Expect more word about RoboCop in the March issue of Nintendo Power. Wow, did they just let us down with that one? I have it, but So we got Knight Rider. Knight Rider. I don't know if you can see right there, kind of, right? Like if you can see right there, that's the actual Knight Rider kit car. Knight 2000 voice kit car, unused in the box. But I made a video that's on this channel. Search it out. And then we got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They're young. They're genetically enhanced. They're highly trained, and they're reptiles. What's this say? The Inverted Quartet is coming to whatever. I mean, why? I don't know. I guess I must be stupid because like that just seems, the wording on that seems a little bit way advanced. But anyways, there you go. to the end of this, it seems. Oh, okay, yeah, this is where we have the bullshit where they tell you that you're going to win something if you enter the contest. You know that doesn't happen. Anybody, again, I've said this the first 3 videos. Now this is the 4th time me saying it. If you've ever won anything through these Nintendo Power things, although they have a little list of winners. Interesting. But if you've ever won, let me know. I'd be interested. Here we got the NES Journal announcing the hands-free controller. Oh, wow. Get out. That is wild. That is amazing. I had no idea. Shout out to Nintendo. That's much respect, man. So, you know, it appears that if you weren't unable to use your hands to play the video game, they made it to where the controller, you could use your mouth and you could, you know, like sip and puff, similar to like if someone has a wheelchair where they would have to operate it, something like kind of like Christopher Reeves, the way he used his. So that's really, 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 really amazing. I did not know that existed. Shout out to Nintendo for making gaming available and accessible. It looks like $179 that cost. And that's not a lot at all for being able to change someone's life and give them the power to play the video games. That's amazing. That's very touching. Down here we got the Zelda. I wanted this damn book and I never got it. Tips and Tactics. I guess you can go on eBay and get it, but that's not the same. That is very, you know, that's very heartwarming. Go ahead and pause and read that whole story because that deserves a read through. But my voice is kind of going. But that's awesome. That really is heartwarming. All right, so what do we got here? Sound waves. All right, so all that's hot isn't just video game screen rather. There's exciting new sounds coming through the airwaves. So who are they shouting out here? We got Debbie Gibson, Julian Lennon, Huey Lewis in the News, and then over here we have celebrity profiles. Yeah, I don't know who they are. They're celebrities from 1984 and 1988. Okay. It's getting more difficult to turn the page as I get to the end. Here's the fun section, the mailbox section, where people write in and Nintendo disses them. So let's read one. David Belstio in Key Biscayne, Florida. Okay, let's read. All right, you guys can pause and read all that at your leisure, but I'll read this one out loud. So David says, I would like to compliment you on a very exciting game. Super Mario Bros. 2 is the best game I've played yet. I love it. It's got the best graphics and it's plain fun the whole time you play. I suggest all kids that love Nintendo should get this game. I like the way Luigi runs in the air when he jumps. I also like the story. Excuse me. I thought it was very original. My favorite. Can we just take a moment? The innocence of youth. I'm going to quote David again. He thought the game was very original. You all know, well, you should know by now, that Super Mario Bros. 2 was a direct ripoff of another game. I don't know the title off the top of my head. But I mean, it was so shamelessly ripped off. The only originality from Super Mario 2 from that game is the Nintendo brand characters of Mario, Luigi, Princess, and Toad. So it's okay, David. You didn't know. None of us knew back then that we were being played. And what I mean by that is that Nintendo shamelessly stole someone else's design. All right. So you thought it was very original. My favorite good guy is Mario. My favorite bad guy is Mauser. So Nintendo Power writes back to David, says, "Thanks, David. We're glad that you like it. Super Mario Bros. 2 is already a certified hit, and it's great fans like you that make it as popular as it is." I don't know. I don't feel like that really is being nice to a child that writes into a company that they're very admirable of, and like, you know, I don't know. That just seems very non-personable, I guess is what I'm looking for. I'll read this one. This is fun. Chip Stewart from Marshfield, Missouri says, "Whatever happened to Dragon Warrior? Will it be coming out?" Mother fudger. Y'all know what I'm doing. They mentioned the game I have. So yes, Chip Stewart from Marshfield, Missouri, Dragon Warrior did come out. And here's the proof. It's in my hands. This is a pretty dope RPG. I enjoy it. This is a fresh copy, fam. I mean, this is a fresh copy. Okay. Look how thick the instructions is for a Dragon Warrior. That's some intense instruction. That Zelda 2 is not even that thick. Did this come with a poster too? I swear it did. I probably don't have it. But yes, to answer your question, before we read how Nintendo answered him, Dragon Warrior did, in fact, come out. Proof is in Retro's hand right now. So let's see what the Nintendo response to that was. Dragon Warrior, challenging new fantasy role-playing adventure, is tentatively scheduled for release sometime this year. There are a lot of reasons why the release of this game can be delayed. Among them are the chip shortage and the programming changes. In any case, we want to ensure that when the game is released, it meets the high standards you've come to expect from Nintendo games. I mean, Nintendo knows that primarily they're answering a children's letter, right? Like, that's... all right, so let's pretend for a minute I'm working at Nintendo and I'm answering fans and players letters. My answer to Chip would be, I'm excited as you are for Dragon Warrior to come out, and I can't wait for it to come out. There's a little bit delays going on behind the scenes, and we're just going to make sure that it gets, you know, I wouldn't get into all the I would say we're just making sure that all the bugs get fixed before it's released so you can have the most fun ever. That seems more of appropriate response, and this is a very dry response. So go ahead, pause, read, spank bank it later. This is the NES Achievers. Now this really does not fluctuate through the different, it might maybe by the time we get to issue 100, but this is issue 4, so it's kind of like more of the same. So I'm not even going to bother reading the scores. You can go ahead and pause for the spank bank, or whatever you want to do with that information. Ah, video spotlights. What is this dude holding? I still don't know what the fuck he's holding. Alright, so the spotlight's on you. We think you'll agree these players possess video what the prowess? Who the hell even says prowess? What is that, a word? Did they just make a word up? Because I could make a word up. I could make a word down, around, the town. I'm showing up now. So let's read what Brett Borders at West Palm Beach, Florida says. I think I am an NES Power player. I can win lots of games very fast. I write to Nintendo all the time and tell them tips for all their games. I was honored. I have a little brother, Blair, who is on his way to becoming a Power player quite soon. I'm going to get Super Mario Bros. 2, Zelda 2, The Adventure Link. My five greatest tips are. This is his five greatest tips. Here we go. Have a current subscription to Nintendo Power. Practice, practice, practice. Make a map for everything. Be patient, think, and never give up. You know what? That's actually good advice for everyone that's watching this video right now. For everything in life. Be patient, think, and never give up. Be patient, think, never give up. Then he says, if you don't own an NES Advantage, buy one now. Every NES player should own one. Brett, you had me going. You had my heart when you had be patient, think, and never give up. But then you just sold out and you just tried to upsell a controller that cost like $60 back in the 80s. Your integrity went a little down. So go ahead and pause. Read. And similar to the Advantage section of the Nintendo Power, the top 30, they're not fluctuating, at least not this early in the game, because back then, games weren't, like now the games come out almost weekly. You know, there's a new game coming out for a new system, but back in the 80s, you had to wait, be patient to get the games. So, in other words, the top 30, you know, like big surprise, Super Mario Bros. 2, Zelda, Zelda 2, Double Dragon, Metroid, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, blah, 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 blah. Big surprise. So this is kind of consistent. It'd be nice to see how this changes as we go from 8-bit to 16-bit to 64-bit and beyond as we continue the Nintendo Power read-throughs. But we're at a very early stage of the 8-bit, and it's going to be kind of status quo. So the player picks, same thing, you know, status quo. Super Mario 2. The pros pick, Zelda 2. I think that's kind of like a little bit of a weenie way out, if you will, because he's just talking, oh, yeah, well, my favorite one is the newest one. Really? Well, it kind of like just says sellout to me. But and the dealer's pick, Super Mario 2. It's funny that if you look at the pictures that they draw, the dealer's picks, he has balls on his chin. Yes, I'm back to talking about balls. I'm still stuck on Marbel Madness. And so here we go. The next issue is going to have Ninja Gaiden, Hudson's Adventure Island, and it appears more of the Adventure of Link. And you can read this at your leisure right there. I'm not going to read that. I think that's from Nestor, and Nestor can eat a bag. Send to a friend. Score-raising deep space with intense... Score-raising deep space with Nintendo. It does not make sense. It's not a very fluid marketing slogan right there. But they've already got us hooked by that. Ah, party up, party down. Okay, so there's the power pad. Oh, so they're advertising the power pad. Very interesting. And that is it for issue 4 of Nintendo Power. I hope you enjoyed this read through. You know, I go off on my little tangents and sidebars, and that's just, you know, love me or leave me. I ain't mad at you. So we're gonna go here, and we're gonna go out. Well, I hope you enjoy these read-throughs as much as I'm enjoying doing them for you. Like, share, let me know in the comments that you care. And I'm doing this with a lot of heart and sincerity. I'm not doing this just to kick out content. I'm doing this because it's important to share with the world. Till next time, this is your boy Retro saying thank you and peace.